Hello, my name is Kumori Miskatonic, and welcome to my channel. I apologize for the stereotypical introduction, but I felt like I had to say something. This is my first time making a YouTube video. I'll be filming everything myself, scripting everything myself, and editing it all together at the end. I apologize for the initial awkwardness, but this will hopefully improve as I make more videos. Now I'll get right into the meat of the video. Let's talk about AAC and how it helps disabled folks, specifically people on the autism spectrum. AAC stands for Augmentative and Alternative Communication. What does that mean? Well, AAC encompasses almost every method of communication that does not involve speaking. Sign language, gesturing, writing, facial expressions, text-to-speech devices. If it's communication and it's not vocal, it's AAC. Another form of AAC is communication cards, which, as you have probably noticed, is the topic of this video. Communication cards are a fairly simple form of AAC compared to text-to-speech devices and sign language. They are essentially a set of cards with different words and phrases written down on them. Communication cards may also include symbols or pictures as well. People may use communication cards for a variety of different reasons. They are commonly used in the autistic community, but people with other disabilities would likely also find them useful. Even non-disabled people can benefit. For example, AAC could be an asset while in a noisy crowd. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own customized communication cards using Adobe Illustrator. But you certainly do not need to have Creative Cloud to make them. In fact, simple index cards will do the trick. As you can see here, I have a Google Doc open, and I'm writing down different statements that I want to be on my cards. This is the very first step in creating communication cards. You have to plan out what you want to write on them. Without planning, you will likely find yourself blanking when writing on the actual cards, or perhaps repeating very similar statements. Some areas of interest you may choose to write about include daily schedules, work, school, interests, shopping, like the set I'm making here, needs, wants, and emotions. If you have trouble figuring out what to write on your cards, try to think of what you find yourself most often communicating to other people. You can also use mine as an example, but keep in mind that these are about a specific topic as opposed to a general set. In addition, don't feel pressured to make your cards any specific length or number. Even just 5 cards could potentially be very useful. You can make as many or as few as you want, just make sure you can carry them in your pocket. So, I realized that I am probably going to have to work on my mouth movements and talking slower. I'm not very good at moving my mouth in a stereotypical, I don't know if stereotypical is the right word, but what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like most people move their mouth. I don't move my mouth the way most people do. Like, half the time only part of it opens, if that makes sense. So you're gonna have to forgive me as I try and figure this out and make my model's mouth movements sync with me. I made this model myself, so the rigging is probably not the best, but I'm quite proud of it, and especially for my first time, I think I did pretty good. Okay, so here I am in Adobe Illustrator. If you're not familiar with the interface at all, it is essentially a graphic design program that is vector-based. And you can apply what I'm doing here to pretty much any program, but what I'm doing here is using artboards, which are essentially individual canvases that can be in the same file. So what I'm doing here is I'm copy-pasting a rectangle that is the same size of each artboard that has a stroke around it, and overlaying that directly over the middle of each artboard, and essentially creating a border for each communication card. And you can do this with any program, but it is probably the easiest to do it with Illustrator. So what you're gonna want to do next is essentially, you're just gonna create each card. You're probably going to want to pick a background color, and you're going to want this color to be the same across all of your cards. So what I did, and what's probably the easiest way, is to color pick from the previous card. You could also paste the hexadecimal color code into the box over and over again. But I think it's just easiest to use the selection tool, which is V. That's the keyboard shortcut for the selection tool. V to select the artboard, and then press I to activate the eyedropper tool. And then just click back on that previous artboard, and you'll transfer the color from that one to the new one. And after you've finished putting the color, then you're going to want to actually put text on. So text is arguably the most important part of your communication cards. With text, you're going to want to make sure that you pick a font that you like, a font that you're going to be reading a lot, a font that's easy to read, a font that's pleasant on the eyes, and you're going to want to make sure that your text is centered as well, and aligned center, so that it's not left aligned. It's just in general, left aligned text is not going to look proper on a communication card. If you do not pick a font that you like, you will regret it. This is simply the completed communication cards that I made. You definitely do not have to use the same phrases and words that I did, but if you want to, please feel free to. So, yeah, that was my first video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really don't want to sound like a stereotypical YouTuber with this, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really does help with the algorithm. Furthermore, please leave a comment, and I guess if you like this, then you could subscribe, I guess, but only if you wanted to. Don't. I'm not gonna force you to click the button. I can't force you to click the button. But, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you again soon.